the time has come for you to lip sync for your legacy. Good luck and don't f it up!
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nick Cubley and today we're going to be ranking the All-Stars 10 lip syncs. And I have to say, this list was much harder than the season 17 list I did. The lip syncs this season were a lot more consistent. Yes, there were obviously standouts, but compared to season 17 where there were very obvious bad lip syncs and very obvious great lip syncs, this season was much more consistent across the board and that makes my job obviously way harder. So that being said, let's get right into the tier list. Alright, so here's the tier list I made. We obviously have the S tier, the A tier, the B tier, and the C tier. I think we've all seen tier lists before. We know that works. But if not, S tier is obviously the highest tier. Those are like the go-to lip syncs, the best ones of the season. And then it goes down, A, B, C. And then the last category, I have Bosco's Twitter, because these are the lip syncs that I want to deactivate from my brain. So rate Bosco's Twitter icon. And then I put the bracket lip syncs up top. So those should be in order. And then I put the post-merge lip syncs at the bottom, just because it was visually pleasing to me, honestly. And so we're going to go through them in order and rank them accordingly. And then at the very end, I'll have a lip sync ranking of how many lip syncs are this season? I don't know, like 15 to 1? We'll find out. Okay, up first, we have Aja versus Irene from the premiere episode to Thank You the Shit Fart. And I think we all know where this is going to go. I mean, Aja started off the All-Star season with an iconic lip sync, per usual. I mean, that's kind of her job at this point. Like, her unofficial job of RuPaul's Drag Race is just eat an all-stage premiere lip sync. She's done it 3 times. I mean, that's a pretty good track record. Aja single-handedly made me like this song, which I thought was impossible, so she deserves all the props in the world for that alone. Aja's little dance stays rent-free in my head. I swear to God, that plays in my head like 5 times a day at this point. Like, it does not leave my brain rent-free. Irene doesn't do bad. I actually enjoy Irene's style lip sync, which we'll talk about more in the, like, down the line, but Aja definitely steals the spotlight for this one. Like, when I think of this lip sync, I literally just think about Aja eating. So yeah, obviously this has to go in the S tier, and it's one of the most iconic lip syncs of the season. I think we all know that, and it sets the standard, going number 1 for now in the S tier. Okay, up next we have Irene versus Bosco, and this is another iconic lip sync. I mean, this is a classic drag song. Bosco's like so elegant and sexy at the same time. It's honestly mesmerizing, and the reveal Bosco did was perfectly timed. I know my biggest complaint about some reveals is that some queens either do their reveals way too early or way too late, or they're just not, you know, like that grand or deserving of a reveal at all. So Bosco paced this lip sync perfectly for me and was just beautiful. Irene once again does well, but gets outshined again, unfortunately. I mean, that's a really tough stretch of lip sync opponents. First you have Aja and then you have Bosco. I mean, that's a really tough start. And I think Irene held her own both times. Like, she didn't do bad, but at the same time, it's like, it's Aja and Bosco. Like, come on. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put this in the S tier alongside the first one. In fact, I mean, bracket 1 was just S tier in general. Probably my favorite bracket of the whole season. So it's not really a surprise that there's 2 lip syncs here already, but I actually am going to put it at the number 2 position, slightly behind Thank You the Shit Fart, even though it is a beautiful lip sync and they're both S tier. Okay, up next at number 3, we have Irene versus Bosco, the sequel. So this is probably my favorite Irene lip sync of the whole season. And I think this is where her like campy, chaotic style of lip sync like comes through for her. One thing I will have to say about Irene's lip syncing is that I'm never bored. Like, she's always doing something, and that's why I say it can't be chaotic, because it's always entertaining. Like, she's always doing something. It just may not be like the cleanest. Bosco, in my opinion, does seem to be holding back a little bit here, and I'm not really sure why. I mean, maybe Bosco was looking out for Irene, but at the same time, I think Irene would have won either way, so it is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the B tier just because I think it's a good lip sync. It's just not a great lip sync. It's not super memorable, and there are a lot better lip sync later in the season. So I think the B tier is like a very safe position for this lip sync. Okay, up next at number 4, we have Lydia versus Tina Burner to Love Sensation. And I think with this lip sync, they really tried to recreate the Boogie Wonderland moment from season 17. And while I think Lydia did really well in this lip sync and definitely won, it just wasn't quite on that level. Still, having said that, it was really exciting to see Lydia in the top 2 just in general lip syncing. I mean, it's just crazy icon behavior. In my opinion, Tina is a little awkward overall in the lip sync. I mean, she was giving us camp, but I don't know if it fully landed to a sensual song like this. I much preferred what Lydia was giving, but she did have a good outfit reveal. Like, that was a gag, so props on that. Whenever I think of this lip sync, I also think about how bad Mrs. Isabel Brooks wanted to do this lip sync and how mad she was. But I mean, that crashed out kind of led to the whole point stealing moment, so it worked out for everyone. I'm gonna put this one in the B tier again because it's not bad, but similarly to the last lip sync, it's just not as memorable as the other lip syncs of the season. So yeah, B tier seems like a good spot for it, but I am going to put it ahead of Pocketbook just slightly though, just slightly. Okay, up next we have Georges versus Mistress. And to be honest, I think this is a fun lip sync. I mean, I totally understand the criticism of this lip sync, though. I mean, I don't think either of them completely gave what the song was calling for. It's supposed to be like fun and flirty, and I think maybe Mistress was too campy with it, and Georges was too like polished and flips and tricks and not emoting as well as she could have. So I understand the criticisms for this song, but despite that, I really like it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a sucker for when queens do a lip sync in front of the artist, and clearly Chappell Roan was living, and I think the vibes of this lip sync are actually really fun. Like, this is a fun one to rewatch, honestly. For me, anyways. I know you guys are definitely going to disagree on that because people really seem to not like this lip sync, but for me, it's not that bad. So this might be a hot take. Having said that, it's still not like the best lip sync of all time. I think it's still a pretty safe B tier, but I'm going to squeeze it in right in between Love Sensation and Pocketbook. I think that's where I would put it if I'm basing it on my personal opinion. Okay, now we have Georges versus Lydia to Texas Hold'em, and this one was just kind of a setup for failure, if I'm being honest. First off, you picked Texas Hold'em out of all the Beyonce songs, and don't get me wrong, I actually really like this song. It doesn't make for a great lip sync song. And more broadly, this is a country song with Georges and Lydia, which doesn't play to either of their strengths, and thankfully we got a much better lip sync between these two later in the season, but this was really disappointing at the time. And a little bit of lore about this is apparently Lydia's wig fell off during this lip sync and they cut it, which continued the season 17 wig curse, so by proxy, this lip sync is also cursed in my eyes. However, I think overall I'm gonna put this in the C tier just because I think they both gave it their best shot, and it's not like it's unwatchable. They still tried their best to make it entertaining. It's just really disappointing overall, and just a really weird song choice by production, so I'm gonna put this as the first C tier on the list. And here's where things start to get messy. We have Ginger versus Diabetes. And I think despite the controversial challenge win, if I'm judging based on the lip sync alone, Ginger and Dia both did an amazing job to the song, in my opinion. Also, having Ariana and Cynthia there was a really special moment, and Ariana crying is just heartwarming. So the vibes of the song are immaculate, and I'm sorry I keep saying vibes, but that's just the way to describe it, okay? The reputation of this lip sync, I think, gets diminished just slightly by the judging decisions that led up to it, but I'm just gonna be judging the lip sync on its own, and for me, it's an A-tier lip sync. It's a fantastic moment for the show if you're not thinking about the judging too hard and you're just thinking about the lip sync. So yeah, I'm gonna put this in the A tier. I know you guys might not agree, but I think they both did amazing. Regardless of who you think won, I think they both did amazing. So let's just put it in the A tier and we'll move on. And here we go. The most controversial lip sync in recent years. Denali versus Ginger. I'm a little scared to talk about this one, but here we go. I think the real classic debate of this lip sync is, what do you prefer? Denali doing too much or Ginger doing too little? I think in my opinion, the obvious answer is that at least Denali was doing something, even if it was a little bit too much. So in my opinion, Denali won, but I'm not gonna harp on this too much because Ginger does not need to get any more hate. In fact, go send Ginger some love. To be honest, my first thought when I saw this lip sync was, oh no. Because I knew the producers were just being too obvious at this point, and social media was going to be a shitstorm, and I was right about that one. Like, honestly, if Denali would have won this lip sync, I think we all would have just moved on and not said much about it and just moved on with our lives and moved on with the season. But I get that the producers wanted social media engagement. I'm just not sure this is the way to do it because the amount of hate Ginger is getting, like I said, is out of control. So I don't want to spread any more of that. So let's just put this lip sync in the Bosco's Twitter category because, quite frankly, I want to delete this from my memory and we can go back to the good old days of brackets 1 and 2. Up next, we have Dia versus Ginger part 2. And this lip sync by Dia is actually an amazing individual performance. I mean, Dia matched the song perfectly from the outfit to the attitude to the dancing. Like, I could just not stop watching Dia strut across the stage. Like, I could do that for an hour straight. Just watch Dia lip sync to this song. I'm also a sucker for when queens point at the side camera and make eye contact like with the audience. More queens really need to take advantage of that camera angle. I think Shea Coulee actually pointed this out in Canada season 5 when she was a guest judge, and she could not be more right. Like, that is always such a hot move, and I love it. I'm gonna put this lip sync actually in the A tier. I mean, Dia killed it, and this is probably the highlight of the season for Dia in my opinion. But I am going to put it below Defying Gravity just because I think Defying Gravity was an overall closer lip sync, so I have to give it a little extra points for that because, I mean, Ginger was just in this lip sync, if we're being honest. So yeah, we'll put it just below Defying Gravity. Up next, we have Mistress versus Cynthia, and this one is an interesting one, mainly because it's the only acapella lip sync of the season, so it's unique and I can appreciate that. But I will say this song plays into Mistress's strengths perfectly. This song is all about emoting, which is what Mistress is great at, and she looks amazing in this performance as well. I mean, she slayed it. I have to give her props. Cynthia did decent as well, but there was no way Mistress was losing to this song, and there was no way Mistress was going home here. So to be honest, this was kind of a setup for Cynthia, but Mistress deserved this win, and deserves her flowers. Overall, I think this lip sync deserves a place in the B tier. It is a good lip sync. It's just not my favorite, if I'm being honest. So in the middle feels correct. Up next, we have Mistress versus Lydia to guess. And I think this is going to be another hot take. You guys are probably not going to like this one, but I think it's a great lip sync. I mean, just the concept of Lydia sending Mistress her mother home on a lip sync to a Charlie XCX song is so brat that I have to give her props just for that. No, but in all seriousness, Lydia demolished this in my eyes. In fact, this might be my favorite Lydia lip sync since Boogie Wonderland. Once again, hot take. Yes, Lydia was definitely fighting her hair more than Mistress, but you know what? I didn't even care. I think it added to the song a little bit. Mistress did seem like she wasn't going 100% here. I mean, she was probably deflated. This is her second time being in the bottom 2 in a row. The writing's on the wall. The storyline's in place. Lydia's going to send home her mother. It's going to be really dramatic. They're going to bring Carrie back, blah, blah, blah. So it was just the perfect setup to send Mistress home here. You guys, like I said, you guys are definitely going to disagree with this, and you guys can let me know in the comments what your ranking is. But I personally, in my opinion, am going to put this in the A tier. And if you disagree, like I said, just let me know. But I love this lip sync, and it's one of my favorites from the season to rewatch. Up next, we have Carrie versus Ginger, and this is another very controversial lip sync. I don't think either of them did that amazing, to be honest. Having said that, I think Carrie gave the essence of the song a little harder than Ginger, and we all know the ending of this lip sync was a little weird anyway, so who even knows what actually happened in real life. And this is another lip sync that's just like riddled with controversy. I mean, you have Carrie coming back just to get eliminated in the very first lip sync, Ginger getting the #1 seed in the ranking somehow. I don't know. This is just, the setup was a mess. The lip sync wasn't that great. The song was iconic. Like, this is actually a really good song choice, so I can't even blame the song here. I just think it's a very underwhelming lip sync, and it's just filled with riggery. So for that reason, I'm just gonna put it in Bosco's Twitter, and I'm gonna try and forget about it. So let's just put it down there and let's move on. Okay, up next is Lydia versus Irene, and this one gets props alone for being, if I'm not mistaken, the first Kesha lip sync on Drag Race, which is insanity. But this song is a banger, and it's been a repeat ever since I heard this lip sync, so maybe I just love the song, but I really like this lip sync. But I mean, there is the elephant in the room. Irene did fall pretty hard, but I'm not gonna knock her for it because, I mean, yeah, it sucks how the season ended for her, but she recovered well, and she pulled up a fight in the lip sync despite falling, and I don't think this is gonna define her journey at all. I mean, Irene is sickening, and she is always sickening. I don't even care that she fell. She fell fiercely and still put up a good fight, but Lydia serves really hard in this and gives me exactly what this song needed. So I love this Lydia performance, and she definitely took it for me. Even despite Irene's fall, I think even without the fall, Lydia was going to win this one. So overall, I think this is a really fun lip sync song, and I'm going to put it in the high B tier. In fact, yeah, I think I'm going to put it in the top of the B tier for now. I think it's that good. I just really like Lydia's performance, and Irene was serving it minus the fall. Sue me. Up next is Georges versus Aja, and this is clearly one of the best lip syncs of the season in my eyes. They both brought their A game. I mean, right when I saw Georges and Aja were matched up against each other, I knew this was about to be iconic. But it was also disappointing because, like, how are they facing each other in the first round? Like, this is some BS, but I digress. They're both so fluid in this song. Like, the way Georges, in particular, spins and floats in the air lives rent-free in my head. And she moves around the stage just so smooth and elegant. And Aja is serving great dance moves, getting the vibe of the song correct. And they're both emoting really well. So once again, great song choice, great vibes. They both look amazing. I will say the nun costume at first was a little confusing, but I like the reveal. So this is one of the closest lip syncs of the night. Georges won, but I love Aja, and that is why this is in the S tier. Just slightly below Think You the Shit, but just slightly above Runner on the Dance Floor. Next is Bosco versus Daya, and this lip sync was emotional before it even started. I mean, Daya's emotional speech before the lip sync had me tearing up, and the song hadn't even been chosen yet, so I knew I was in for a treat. Of course, right when Bosco's ball gets picked and she chooses the burlesque song, I think the writing was on the wall. We all knew that Bosco was gonna win this. I mean, this is exactly up her alley, and she came through. I mean, the outfit was amazing, her moves were amazing, the pacing, once again, just like Murder on the Dance Floor, was amazing. She just knows how to build lip syncs perfectly. So I think Daya just ran into Bosco, who was like literally born to do this song and this performance, and she basically did not stand a chance. And to be fair, I don't think anyone stood a chance against Bosco to this song, so it's just bad luck. This is clearly an S tier performance, one of the best of the season. This is Bosco at her peak, and I'm actually going to put this in second place. For now, it was almost first. I really didn't know what to do here, but I'm going to put it in second just behind Think You the Shit. but it's a tough call. Now we move on to one of the best lip syncs of the season to immediately one of the worst, and that is Bosco versus Ginger. And I think Bosco was really able to give it her all in this song. I mean, she had just got done lip syncing while Ginger had been resting for a while, so the bracket setup definitely worked in Ginger's favor here. And on top of that, Ginger picked the song and it matched her vibe and her lip syncing style way better than Bosco's. So yeah, I think Bosco was kind of set up to fail here, but you know, Ginger did all right in this lip sync. I'm not gonna hate on Ginger too much. I know I've been really negative towards her, but this was just an okay lip sync. I feel bad for Bosco here. It was really sad to see her go in this moment like this, but it is what it is, and Ginger wins. So let's just move on, and I'm gonna put this in Bosco's Twitter, unfortunately. Okay, now we have Lydia versus Georges, part 2, and this is an amazing lip sync, particularly for Georges. She became Shakira in this moment. She was, once again, kind of like Bosco earlier, born into this song, essentially. And this ends up being one of my favorite lip syncs from Georges throughout her 3-season run on the show. Lydia puts up a good fight, and the fact that she made it to the top 4 is amazing, historic, iconic. I'm kind of glad that Georges saved her reveal for this song because it fit the sexy vibe of this song so well, and it was just really effective here. Again, I have to give her props. She is emoting and embodying the song so well here. That was probably one of the biggest criticisms of her lip sync style, is that she doesn't really emote that well, but I think she proved us all wrong during this whole Lollapalooza, and in particular during this song. I mean, she absolutely slayed. This is the Lydia versus Georges battle that I wanted the first time around. This is gonna go in S tier, I think in 4th place. But we'll see with the final rankings. That's coming up soon, but for now, we're gonna put it in the 4th place. And the last lip sync on this tier list is Ginger versus Georges, the lip sync to the crown. So I just feel like I've been really negative towards Ginger, and I don't want to end this video on a bad note. So I'm just going to start by saying I don't want anyone to send any hate towards Ginger. Regardless if you'd like the result of this lip sync or not, or any of the lip syncs for that matter, there's no reason to send any hate to anyone, especially Ginger. Ginger is a hardworking queen who deserves her flowers, and I just wish the producers didn't set her for failure like this because it's been rough. I mean, how does she win and somehow get so much hate from the fandom? It's just backwards. With that being said, I'm just gonna put this in the B tier because overall I do think that they both did well, and I'm just gonna say congratulations to Ginger Minj. Just go and send her some love on social media. She really is a good person. I think that's very obvious, even in her reaction to winning the crown and asking Georges if she's okay immediately after winning the crown. I mean, that shows incredible character, and it's a really classy move. So let's celebrate both Ginger and Georges and Bosco and whoever else you're rooting for this season, because they did give us an entertaining, amazing season. And they're all just gonna be fine, okay? They're all gonna be successful, and they're all gonna be making money, and it's all gonna be good. We will not see the end of any of them. So let's just send love to all the queens, and yeah, that's the end of the tier list. Okay, and with that, here is the complete tier list, and I will put the numbers on screen now, and that will give us the complete ranking. So if you disagree with anything on this list, let me know down in the comments down below. And let me know what your ranking is and what you wanted to see higher, what you want to see lower, because I know we're not going to agree. And if you made it this far in the video, you're a real one, and I really appreciate you. Please like and subscribe. That would really help me. And yeah, stick around for more Drag Race content. I think my next video is probably going to be a retrospective on All Stars 10 and looking forward to All Stars 11 and beyond. So subscribe for that video. And I have some other videos in the pipeline, but whatever you guys want to see, just let me know, and I'm open. So I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.